I want to welcome you just to Baldwin Street Middle School's reproductive health meeting for the fall 2021 school year. Obviously, this has been a very interesting school year, and normally we would hold this meeting live with you all and be in person to answer questions. And we hope we still can do that over Zoom tonight. Our format tonight will be going through a presentation, and Mrs. Kuinga and Mr. Van Slyke, our health teachers, are here with me. We are in the Baldwin Street Middle School Media Center. We're about 10 to 15 feet apart from each other. That's why we're not wearing masks. But we will be sharing with you tonight our reproductive health curriculum and discussing that. That curriculum goes before and is developed by a committee of community members, teachers, administrators, parents. There's some students on that committee. And then that's brought before our Board of Education to be approved. So this isn't just something that Mr. Van Slyke and Mrs. Kuinga came up on their own. There's just a significant process, a legal process of approving our reproductive health curriculum. And so I want to thank both of them for just taking part in that and making sure that we have the best curriculum for our students available. At this time, I'm going to turn it over, I think, to Mr. Van Slyke. And you'll have to excuse us. We're going to try to work muting and unmuting each other. And hopefully we don't get feedback like that. So Mr. Van Slyke, I'll turn it over to you. And I'm going to...
All right. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of walk you through the first 9 weeks or the 9 weeks of our health class. Let me quick make sure that we have the syllabus. Oh, just a second. As soon as we get the syllabus pulled up, and if it doesn't get pulled up, I can always just talk you through it. Basically the layout of the class. And I'll actually start. You care if I just start?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time sharing my screen, and I'm not sure why.
All right, I'm going to start walking you through the 9 weeks. Basically, what we do is we break it down into 3 sections. We have a nutrition section, and then we have a substance abuse section. And, oh, there we go. It looks like we got it now. Maybe? There we go. Okay. So what you see right now is the syllabus that we passed out to your students earlier last week, or I know we have some parents joining us from the second 9 weeks course. You will get this and you will see this when your students actually take the class. But as you can see right there, first of all, right at the top, it says you will need a 2-inch 3-ring binder. If you can have that ready, I know we talked to the kids that we have now. Most of them have it, which is great. If you can just have that for the second 9 weeks, that'd be awesome as well. And then basically, like I'm gonna go through the process of the class. And typically, we're gonna start out with nutrition. That is just your basic nutrition class. We use the Michigan model. Basically, healthy eating and physical activity. This is a grade 7 and 8 class, but it's mostly focused for 7th grade. So it's a middle school curriculum. We watched a couple of videos like My Plate, My Health, the top 5 food mistakes, things like that. And just basically talk about, what we should be putting into our bodies, the type of exercise we should be getting and how often we should be getting it, what we should be eating and what we should be drinking. This portion of the class usually takes anywhere between 3 and 4 weeks. Typically, well, actually about 2 to 3 weeks, and usually it's done after about 3 weeks. After nutrition, we go into a 1 week, maybe it'll bump into a second week over substance abuse. We talk about tobacco, that basically anything smoking, chewing tobacco, and then we go right in from tobacco. We go into vaping, and vaping is more of a big deal in this day and age, both at the high school level, but we also see it coming down to the middle school level as well. So we spend a good 2 days on vaping and the topic of vaping and just what's going on with that. After vaping, we brush up on alcohol. That's about a day and a half as well. And then we go into the drugs like marijuana. We watch, and pretty much for every one of these topics, there is a short or medium video, and then we do a lot of discussion, maybe a little worksheet here and there, but for the most part, it is a video and then just kind of classroom discussion. And then we end it with a prescription and over-the-counter OTC drugs, another video, and then just some more discussion. And we wrap up that section with a project, a nice project that we just kind of wrap that whole thing up with. After that, we get into something that we've been doing here at Baldwin for a few years now. It's CPR, first aid. It is hands-only CPR. We do not teach the mouth stuff. It is just compression-only CPR. It is curriculum through the American Heart Association. It is about 3 days long. We actually just moved this up to the beginning of this 9 weeks just because we thought it would fit well with getting to know these kids. So we actually just wrapped that up today in our classes today, and it actually went really, really well. The kids actually do get some hands-on experience with compressions. We have about 15 dummies that we had them donated from the American Heart Association. So they actually are doing the full compressions. And again, the kids just seem to really enjoy that. After CPR, this is when we would typically go into the puberty reproductive health. That starts out, that is usually about 3.5 weeks. That is about a full 3.5 weeks long. We start with the basics, your body, and puberty. Just very, very basic stuff, puberty and adolescence. We talk about communications, goal setting. We go into some simple skincare. We do talk about ovulation and menstruation. And again, we watch the video called You, Your Body, and Puberty. We get diagrams and video clips off of teenhealth.org. We watch a movie called Hurting or Flirting. That is geared more towards sexual harassment. That is something that we used to show in the 6th grade level, but we bumped it up into health class so that we show that now in 7th grade, just kind of as part of the class. And then if you want to scroll down just a little bit, Joel, we are now on the new 2019 Michigan Model Curriculum. I'm not going to get into the specific changes. That's what Mrs. Cooing is going to do here in just a little bit. But just a brief overview: growing up and staying healthy, understanding HIV and other STIs. Again, it's a middle school curriculum, but we're teaching this in 7th grade. And the biggest change is that instead of being abstinence-only curriculum, we are now abstinence-based. But again, I'm not going to get into the specifics because that's what Mrs. Cooing is going to do here in just a few minutes. But briefly, those topics are healthy dating relationships. We talk about HIV, AIDS, and STIs. Go back up, right there.
Sorry.
We watch a video with that, understanding HIV and AIDS. That is the abstinence-based version. We talk about boundaries and fences, different refusal skills, how to say no. Abstinence-based, we do talk about condoms and protection. That is one of the big differences that has changed in our curriculum over the last year. We talk about the youth assessment surveys. The YAS surveys is what they're called, and we're going to update those going into our curriculum. And then we talk about the laws and safe delivery and adoption methods. So, and then we finish with the CSC, or criminal sexual conduct. What is legal, what is illegal, and those are just the different laws in the state of Michigan. If you at any time want to preview the reproductive health packet, any of the movies that we watch, just get a hold of Mrs. Kuinga or myself. You can get a hold of us through the office, and we will get you that information or that movie, and you can check that out. Scroll down just a little bit. I think that's it. I just want to make sure. Yep, and then there's if you just want to quick maybe leave that on there just for a second, Joel, they can quick write down our email if you'd like to, or take a screenshot, and you can see the phone number and extensions, or our emails right there.
And that's permission slip.
Yep.
And there's the permission slip. Again, if your student is already in the middle of our class, this has gone out to you. We're waiting on just a few students back that wanted to have their parents in here for the meeting. But it's a basic yes, my child may participate in the reproductive health class, or no, my child may not participate in the reproductive health class. And I think Mrs. Kuinga will brush up on what happens if my child does not participate. What's the course of action from there? And then just the student name and your and parent signature, and then we will be all set. You want me to do it now? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I guess I'm going to do that part right now. So if you decide that my child will not participate in the reproductive health class, those 3 or 3.5 weeks of this portion, we will have different assignments for them in the library. It will be basic assignments. It will not have anything to do with the curriculum that we are teaching, because obviously you opted them out of that. It will be geared more towards the health and nutrition sort of thing. It might be on some of the different topics in the nutrition part. It might be on some of the different topics in the substance abuse part, or just basic health topics. We will give them different assignments. They will do that in the library while we are teaching that class. It will just be, usually there's plenty of space in the library for this to take place. We do not allow the kids to go to gym class, because if we do that, we'll get too many kids that would rather just go to the gym and then rather than stay in health class. So we kind of put an end to that portion of it. So if there's any more questions on that, feel free to type in the right, I think it's on the right hand side for you. Feel free to type any more questions if you have any more questions about that part. All right, I'm muted now.
Do you think I'm on? Okay. All right. Can you hit present or not, Joel? Awesome. All right. Well, good evening. My name is Lori Koinga, and I am one of the other PE teachers as well. We are pulling up our actual slideshow that we show the kids. We call it our packet. So the students will get all of these materials in what we call our packet, and they will put those into their 3-ring binder. Everything that we teach is inside of that packet. So if we see a really great article online at night, we cannot print it off and take it the next day and teach on it. Every single piece of paper or every single slide you'll see in front of you is curriculum approved, board approved. Our board just changed our curriculum from abstinence only, which means that we used to just talk about abstinence is the only way. We would never have any conversations about protection or condoms. And now, since 2019, our board has now approved that Hudsonville across the board will be abstinence based, which means we will still emphasize that abstinence is the best way to prevent pregnancy, to prevent STIs, but we will also talk about condoms as a protective barrier as well. So again, we're going to go through this beginning part quite quickly so we can get to the end part where a lot of parents, I think, have more questions. Also at the top, you'll see anything that has a star is a new piece from 2019. So that's our new material. And usually if there's a star, as you see there, it will be something with regards to protection or the new things that we're going to be talking about with abstinence-based. Okay, go ahead. And again, here's our information. This will be in the packets for your kids. We're going to go through these pages quite quickly. Go ahead. It's going to go quick. And this is just an intro to puberty. We always set up guidelines for discussions with the kids. We want to create a safe environment for the kids so that they're comfortable with us. And so we make sure that we set up the guidelines so that the kids know they're in a safe place. We do have a question box that we put on our desk that at any time, if a student doesn't feel comfortable saying it out loud, they can write it down and put it in our question box, and we will address it to all the classes if it is a topic that we feel appropriate. Okay, next page. Yep, and then here's just some pre-tests. You could go through those really quick, showing you some of the words that we discuss. And then whenever you see a page like this, it's kind of like a title page. So as Mr. Vince said, puberty and adolescence, value system, communication, goal setting, simple skincare, ovulation, menstruation, and then you, your body, and puberty. And then Joel, if you want to just go through those, yeah, and you'll see we've got some terms in here that we're going to be going through, reading with the kids. Keep going, puberty for guys, puberty for girls, tips for surviving puberty, Again, just creating a place where they realize that everybody goes through puberty. We also have our days marked like you see day 2. So if a student is absent and they have their packet at home, they would know that they missed everything within that day. So we try to keep on schedule with that. We obviously see, you can see we talk to them about where puberty starts, how does it start, what are the changes that happens to guys, what are some of the changes that happens to girls. Okay. Reviewing words again, we're going to go through our terms with the kids. This on their packet actually is blank and they write all these words in, but we'll just keep going through our packet or our slideshow so you could see some of the terms that we use with the kids. We really emphasize with the kids that we use proper terminology. We do not use slang in our class. We also talk to the kids a lot about your mood and about, that's one of the big changes that kids go through is those strong emotions. I have 3 boys, so I completely understand that. They're all teenagers. So we talk to the kids about, you know, taking a step back and maybe rethinking, think before you speak. I'm sure you've all said that before. And so this gives the kids an opportunity to write down, if I had a second chance to say something, how would I make a change? Okay. Continue, same. And then talking to the kids about simple skincare, especially emphasizing sunscreen, especially in the sun. All right, day 3, we go into menstruation and the video. Okay. And then all about menstruation, talking to the kids. And then at the bottom is a link where if you wanted to look at that, you could click on that. It's from kidshealth.org, and it's a really great demonstration about the process that happens in the female body every month. Okay. And then we're just going through and teaching the kids again, very scientific, straightforward things. Go ahead. And then our video. And again, if you would like to look on YouTube, I think it is, you might be able to see like a little clip of you, your body in puberty to get kind of the basics about that video. Some questions to go along with the video, just to make the kids think about what's going on and look at the video and evaluate what was happening in the video and some of the things like that they want to do. Like, what are some of my goals that I want to do, you know, looking forward, and how do I get to those spots? Okay. And then reflecting, and that is the first week. And then we have our quiz. You can hit through that really quick. Okay, keep going. All right, so now would be like the next week, and this is like the next chapter. Can you go back one more? Sorry. We're going to be now talking about male reproduction, female reproduction, and ovulation and fertilization. Okay, go ahead. And here is the terms that we go over. Oh, let me say this first before we get to the terms. At the very beginning of the packet, we always send it home with the student, and we want parents to sign the front page of the packet. It's very important that we do that. We want this not to just be from Mr. Van Slyke and myself. We also want to make sure that the parents are involved in our conversations as well. And so then this is after week 1, we will have parents re-sign the packet. So it gives an opportunity for the students to bring the book home to mom and dad, and if they choose to look through it, answer questions if the students have any. And it also gives you as parents, obviously, an opportunity to fill in any gaps that you feel you want to teach beyond what we as the Hudsonville Public Board wants us to teach. So parents will sign the first page, then they'll sign that reproductive parentgram page that you see in front of you. And then again, it just gives parents an opportunity and a bridge for us so that we're all on the same page, and you guys are able to give your feedback to the kids as well. Okay. Here are some of the terms that we talk to the students about, and you can see those. We'll just go through this a little bit slower so that you can get an idea. And again, this would be something where we would have the kids filling in the terms. These are the diagrams that the students will see. Okay. And then we move into day 7 would be the female reproduction. And then here are terms that we go through with regards to the female body. And some of the diagrams. And then day 8 goes into ovulation, fertilization. And a lot of this, I just want you to be able to see it. You know, I don't think you need me to go into great details and explain things, but it's important for you to see what your students are going to see before they see it. And again, the students will all have this packet right from the very beginning, the entire thing, and we will just work through it day by day. Go ahead. And this will all be up on a slideshow in our classroom, our health classroom. So now we're going to the new part. So all of that didn't matter if it was abstinence only or abstinence based, and I went over what the difference was earlier. Now this is the new part, and I say new, it's from 2019, an upgrade for us. Now it's abstinence based. It's off of the Michigan model curriculum, growing up and staying healthy. And so you will see we're going to be talking about healthy dating relationships, the HIV and AIDS and STIs, talking to the students about boundaries and fences. And when I mean that, I mean like, you know, what is going to be your boundary, or protecting what's on the inside like a fence does. Talking to the students about refusal skills, how to say no or how to speak up assertively, what body signals do we give out. And so it's learning how to have those refusal skills. And then of course, new is the abstinence-based condoms and protection. Next one is laws. We're talking about adoption and our safe delivery, and then finishing up with criminal sexual conduct laws. So again, now we're going to work through all of those assignments, starting with healthy relationships. This was a new slide that the district wanted us to get in there. And I talked to the students a lot. We do not push relationships as far as, you know, you're in 7th grade, you should be dating someone. We do not do that at all, but we want the kids to realize what a healthy relationship is, whether it is a relationship with somebody else that you're attracted to, or it could even be friendships. Like, how do you have a healthy friendship? And what does an unhealthy friendship look like, or an abusive relationship look like? So we talk to the students about all of those things. Main things is, you know, communication and being respectful and trusting and being honest. And what do those words actually mean in a dating relationship or in a friendship? And then enjoying personal time. And then of course, on the flip side, you know, what does an abusive relationship look like? And, you know, a relationship shouldn't hurt. And all of those are clearly things that are abusive and not healthy. Then, as Mr. Vince said, we do go in and start talking a little bit about sexual harassment. You know, when is it that you're just flirting with someone, that you're kind to, that you're having fun with, or when are you crossing that line when you're making someone feel uncomfortable? And we talk to the kids about that. Again, not emphasizing that they should be in relationships at all, but what does that look like? And then moving on to the HIV and AIDS, this is through Discovery Education, and it is our abstinence-based, which means they will talk about condoms and contraceptives in there. And then that is one of the links in there. And if you would like to preview that, again, talk to Mr. Vince and I, and we could get you to be able to even see that possibly at home. So if you would like to see that, we can show that to you. By no means at any point, and then this video is, go to the next slide. Thank you. By no means do we ever have condoms in school. We do not show them what condoms are. We do not demonstrate anything with condoms. We just basically explain what they are and what their purpose is. So again, I want to emphasize that at Hudsonville Public, we are not showing students any type of protection, especially condoms. By no means are we allowed to pass them out, and we do not demonstrate how to use one, put one on. So I want to make sure I emphasize that with all of you. But again, on the very bottom, we are emphasizing, we're teaching what condoms do and what their purpose is, but the emphasis is we want the students to understand abstinence, not engaging in sexual activity, is the only 100% effective way to prevent a disease and pregnancy. So that is our focus, but we are able to open up the topic or the conversation around protection and condoms. And here's just some pages. We'll go through these kind of quickly. With regards to HIV, and some of the facts that we go through, we talk through this with the kids so that they get a clear understanding about what it is. Go ahead, there's a few pages that go with this one. Yep, and how to avoid it, how to be treated. We talk about the health department with the kids. And so as you can see, we really get a good idea. And then I have the arrow pointed at that just so this actually was exactly like the abstinence-based slide that we had, except they added that last check mark in there about using a latex or polyurethane condom consistently and correctly can reduce the risk, but not eliminate it. So a lot of these slides were the exact same as abstinence only, except now we just add like one more check mark or one more bullet about protection and to be able to reduce risk. Okay. And then we go into talking to the kids about facts and myths. So many times they don't understand, you know, like, and a lot of us didn't at first, but, you know, how do you get HIV and how is it transmitted and how is it not transmitted? As you can see, I'm not teaching you all this, but sexual intercourse, needle sharing, baby born to a HIV infected mom, transfusion in a healthcare setting. We go into detail talking to them all about those. And the next page is about the myths. Like you can't get it through air, environmental surfaces, kissing, sweat, tears, saliva, urine, feces, or insects. And then again at the very bottom, emphasizing to the students one more time that abstinence from sexual intercourse and from needles means a person has made a commitment to their health and acting in a way that will prevent the spread of this disease. Using alcohol and drugs interferes with a person's ability to think clearly, make wise choices. Consequently, abstaining from alcohol and other drug use will increase the likelihood that a person will live up to their commitments and their goals. So again, through it all, we keep emphasizing the abstinence part. Okay. Talking about STIs, which is called sexually transmitted infections, also has been called sexually transmitted diseases. Those are the main ones that we talk about, those top 5 ones there. We do not, we want the kids to be aware of what they are, but we do not make them memorize like all the different things that go along with that. I do know in the high school, when they take high school health/PE, they go into more detail with each one of those, but we're just kind of giving them a broad idea of what a sexually transmitted disease or infection is. All right, we'll go through those kind of quickly. And just more talking about the risks and how you get HIV and STIs. Talking about the risky behaviors and how, just another assignment. and just having some discussion. You know, alcohol and drug use increases your likelihood of engaging in risky behaviors. You may do things you wouldn't do normally. So we let the kids have an opportunity to turn and talk with a neighbor about what they think about that or what it actually means. And so we get some really good discussions off of that. And these are just some more things that we touch on, kind of review, bring it all together. And then just what's the most important thing to know about STIs is abstain from sex and intimate sexual contact. And then just some homework assignments. Some of these things, this next homework assignment in the next page or two, we actually have the students right here interview a parent or a trusted adult. And I'll be honest, even though we've been talking about this for now, like probably 2 weeks, the kids are all like, I really have to interview my parents and talk to them about that. And like, you can do that. You've got to be mature. You can do this. So we ask that they have an opportunity to sit down with you and ask, you know, what expectations do you have for me when it comes to sexual behavior? And I know that might be a little uncomfortable to talk about, but it's really important. We tell the students that they do not have to write down their answers on here, but we do need to make sure a parent signs it. We do not look over these homework sheets. That's not our business. We wanted you guys to have that conversation. And if they want to write it all down, they surely can. But like I said, they don't turn any of these assignments in, but we tell them they don't have to actually write it down, but we just want a parent signature so that we know that some conversation, even if it's just one or two of those topics, does happen. And then of course, going into fences and boundaries, we're on day 13. Go ahead. And what is a fence? Protects things, keeps things private, and, you know, kind of making a connection to the kids about our bodies and that it, you know, we don't have to share it with everybody. And then of course, boundaries protect what's on the inside. Boundaries keep harmful things outside. And some of the refusal skills, you know, that we're going to be talking about soon here. Go ahead quickly through those. Reasons how to stay within my boundaries. Then we start talking about SMART goals, okay? And the goals that you want to set, they want to set for themselves. Or at the top, I will be free from infection from HIV and other STIs. Another goal might be, if I'm already infected with HIV or an STI, I will do everything I can to get treatment. So we're just talking to the kids about long-term goals. And then we also talk about what some short-term goals are. Okay. You can go through these quick. Okay. And about goals. And then letting the kids have an opportunity here. Behaviors I will choose to stay within the boundaries. I give the kids some examples, like I will only go to gatherings that don't have alcohol, drugs, and vaping. I'm giving them examples like I will only go to a boyfriend, girlfriend's house when parents are home, kind of like your family rules, I guess. And just some things that they're setting for themselves. You know, parents obviously will talk to students about this, their kids about this, but you know, what are you going to set for yourself? You know, they're 7th graders and they need to start thinking about what their personal beliefs are and their values and things that they want to stick to. So then those bullet points are for them to go ahead and to come up with their own that they would like to do. Communication, verbal and nonverbal communication. Like, how do we refusal skills? How do you communicate? You know, are you meek and timid, or are you really standing up for what you believe in? Those are the things that we talk to kids about their body language. Okay, going through it. We do have quite a few of these pages, and Mr. Olson, you could just go through these quite. Yeah, I think keep going. So we're talking to the kids about identifying trouble, and we actually give them quite a few opportunities. Keep going to, I think, the next one, effective refusal skills, and then keep going. Where we give the kids, you can stop on that one. We give the kids examples, and then they go ahead and try to figure out what is the risky behavior. These next pages, I think, are super important to the kid, or to us. We talk to the kids quite a bit about inappropriate photos on phones. We talk to the kids about what sexting is, obviously about going on the internet and finding things. We talk to the kids a lot about these are all risky situations and sites that you should steer clear of. Another risky situation, using alcohol, drugs, going out with someone who's much older than you are, sending or receiving inappropriate photos. And then the next one, being alone with a person you're attracted to, going out with someone you don't know very well, going to parties where you know there's alcohol and drugs. These are all risky situations. Going to a house where there's no parents or adults that are supervising. These are all situations that throw up the red flag. So we talk about what that looks like. And then this is what I was talking about, where we give the kids some situations. You can go through these quickly. Where we give the kids situations where they talk about, what skills were used when these different situations come up. And then the kids can read about them, and then they answer on the far right. Yeah. And the kids actually really like those. You can go through these quickly because it gives them a conversation between two kids, and they're like real life things. And then the students have an opportunity on the side to write down, okay, what was the risky behavior, or what were the refusal skills that were used? And so we give the kids an opportunity to read through all these situations and scenarios. Okay. And then condoms and contraceptives, abstinence-based. This is the YAS survey that Mr. Vincent was talking about. We just got the new one, so we do actually have to update this. It just came in. But what we like to tell the kids, or talk to the kids about, go ahead to the next slide, or two. Yeah. And students in Ottawa County have an opportunity, and we do here at Hudsonville as well, to answer questions. It's anonymous, but it's interesting for the kids to see, not everybody is doing it. That's one of the big things. Everybody thinks everybody's doing this or everybody's doing that. And really what the statistics show is that, a lot of things are not the truth. And a lot of the numbers of high risk behavior are starting to go down, or sometimes we notice that some things are going up. And so we look at it with the kids by grade level. We look at it by gender. And so it gives the kids an idea, and they look through this and try to figure out how to read all of these statistics. And then we show them on this graph, the statistics actually were going down. So it'll be interesting to see it as we put up the new ones, what the trend looks like in Ottawa County. Again, most people your age are not having sex. We emphasize that to students. They don't think like they're the only ones that are not. Keep going. And then some potential negative consequences of having sexual intercourse. You want to go back to one more before that, Mr. Olson? Yeah, thank you. So for a pregnancy, that is a negative consequence of having sexual intercourse. And then on the opposite side, on the right side, then it's ways of reducing the risk. Abstain from sex, use a condom consistently, correctly every time, use another birth control method every time. How do I not get an STI? Abstain from sex, use condoms consistently, correctly every time. And you can read the other ones. And then the next page. So we do clearly put out there the negative consequences and then how to avoid them. What are some reasons it's difficult for teens to parent? Definitely have a good conversation with kids about that. They don't understand, how expensive things are, for having, being a teen parent, all the things that it affects, difficult to finish school, after school activities might have to be limited, miss out on some of the fun things that kids do in high school, less likely to reach their educational goals, more likely to live in poverty, more likely to be a single parent, lack support of a co-parent, and you can see it strains family relationships. So we really talk to the kids about some of the things that happen if a teen becomes a parent. Although we do emphasize to the kids that, I don't know what to say. So here with everybody, that, yeah, it's a difficult time to become a parent when they're a teenager. If you want to go to the next slide, then we can look at that. Becoming a teen parent may not be the best choice in their life of the child. Actually, I can't see that. Can I move this? Yeah, becoming a teen parent may not be the best choice for your own life or the life of your child. There are positive choices to ensure your baby has the best possible start in life. And then we do talk to the students about adoption, and that it's a loving gift to your child. It provides permanency and a stability with a loving family. Choosing adoption is not a failure. And that's what I was trying to say is I want to make sure that the kids don't think that, things are a mistake, that adoption is not a failure. Okay, next one. And then we finish off talking about the laws, criminal sexual conduct, and what the laws are with regards to sex or sex crimes under the age of 16 is actually considered sex or sexual contact with someone under the age of 16 is actually a crime, and it's punishable by imprisonment. And we also do talk to the kids about the sex offender registry on the internet. And then we'll just go through these slides quickly. Again, you can see we talked to them very briefly about the different degrees of felonies and misdemeanors. And then we end with this slideshow, making sure that they emphasize that 16 is the age of consent. And and then we talked to them a lot about what if you didn't know their age, there's no defense. What if the other person agrees or consents? You can't unless they're over the age of 16. And what are the consequences? Okay, keep going through all these. Other questions, Sean? Okay. At this time, we're towards the end of our slideshow. If you have any questions that you would like to type out in the chat, we will be answering those right now. Yeah. Yep, we're done with the slideshow. So thank you for listening. Oh, you're muted.
So I don't see any questions in the chat, but if someone does have a question and would like to unmute themselves, they could do so.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you came in late to the meeting, this is being recorded, and I believe Mr. Olson will be sending out the link if you would like to watch it from the very beginning. Another thing that I did want to talk about that a lot of parents have asked in previous years, it is a co-ed class. There are guys and girls in there at the same time. When I do my seating chart, I let the kids pretty much pick where they want to sit so that there's always someone next to them that makes them feel safe. It really is not a problem having guys and girls in there at the same time. I think parents are actually more concerned about it a lot of times than the students are. Once we get going with our conversations and they realize, like I said, it is a safe place, the kids actually really get comfortable and they start raising their hand and asking questions. Now, not everybody is going to feel as comfortable as some, but I really don't feel that that is one of the hangups with our class that kids have a problem with, of having a mixed gender, yeah, guys and girls in there at the same time. So I just wanted to throw that out there. That's usually one question that parents ask me. All right, I guess I'm still on. I see that Jen did right. I think CPR training is great. My son could tell me what to do when someone goes down. I was so proud of him. And you guys, yeah. Now remember, they're not certified, but anybody can do CPR, hands-on only CPR. So thank you. We like it a lot as well. And we have Staying Alive in our heads because we've been playing that song a lot over the last couple days, teaching CPR. Any other questions? I guess I'll just stay live and wait. Yep. Or you can email us or call us. I'll wait for a few more minutes. If anyone wants to unmute themselves and just say, hey, I got a question. If you are set, everybody's unmuted now, I think. Oh no, I guess not.
I'd just like to thank Mr. Van Slyke and Mrs. Kuinga tonight for their time, and just all you parents for partnering with us. I think it's such an important piece that this isn't something that's just taught at school, and it's not just a single conversation you have at home, but it's something that you continue to talk to your kids about. It's just so important that we have these conversations at home to make sure kids understand what's being taught at home and at school. And so we want to be on the same page with that and really partner with you. And thank you for joining us tonight. That speaks a lot to your interest and involvement in your child's lives. Thank you. And with that, if there's no other questions, we will close.
Oh, when will they be having this?
Oh, I think there was a question when I came in late. When will they be having this? Mrs. Kuinga?
Oh, yeah, I have to unmute myself.
Here, you're unmuted.
Hi, I think you can hear me. It depends on what marking period. If you got the invite to this, I believe your child is either in first 9 weeks health class or second 9 weeks health class. So if your child is not taking health now, you will, your student will be having it second 9 weeks. And the very first day of health class, they'll be getting the syllabus that we went over at the very beginning. And it is like outline formed of all of our curriculum. And it'll give you an opportunity to call us if you want to talk individually. And a permission slip at that time will be given for the students too. Yeah, first 9 weeks or second 9 weeks. Oh. Oh, when will they be talking specifically about reproductive health? And okay, usually we don't start it right away. So we just did CPR with this 9 weeks group of kids. We're going to be doing a week and a half of drugs, alcohol, tobacco. And then I believe we're going to go into the reproductive health. So usually we start it about 4 weeks, 3 weeks into the health class, middle towards the end. But remember, it's a 3.5 week long unit. So that's about when we're teaching it. Sorry. Any other questions? We can wait a few minutes too as you think of something. Are there any other things you think of, Mr. Van Slyke, that parents have asked in the past? Okay.
All right. Well, if you do have additional questions, please reach out to one of your child's teachers, or you can call me in the office as well if you'd like to ask me any questions about our curriculum. I do serve on our district's reproductive health committee with Mrs. Kuinga, so I have the privilege and honor of doing that. And that's just a great group of people who really want to put together a good curriculum for kids. So thanks for joining us tonight, and we appreciate all of you, and have a great holiday weekend. Thank you.